verses 15 through 20. It says, "Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by their fruit you will recognize them." This is telling us to be careful who we allow to influence us. There are false teachers, and there are false prophets. And he says that they come to you in sheep's clothing. The idea is that they keep coming. It's another present tense word. They keep coming, meaning there's always going to be false teachers, right? In the history of the church, there has never been a time or an age where there weren't false teachers. So there are false teachers today that we need to be aware of and that we need to protect ourselves from. We need to protect ourselves because they come in sheep's clothing. Without careful inspection, they appear to be one of us. They appear to be one of us. But they are actually ferocious wolves, meaning they are hungry, they are savage, and they look to pick people off one by one. I found this on a website called Living with Wolves. I thought it applied to spiritual wolves and false prophets. This is what it says. Wolves are opportunists. They test their prey, sensing any weakness or vulnerability through visual cues and even through hearing and scent. Contrary to ambush predators that rely on the element of surprise and a short and intense burst of energy to secure their prey, wolves are endurance or coursing predators. They chase their prey, often over long distances, sometimes even a few miles, in order to find the right animal or opportunity. Now, how do you think that parallels false teachers and false prophets? They're predators. They are experts at looking for the vulnerable, for the weak, for the one they might be able to get. Titus, right? Titus chapter 2, chapter 1 talks about that, the end of chapter 1. It says they even destroy whole households by their tactics. So, because these false prophets come to us in sheep's clothing but are inwardly ferocious wolves, Jesus says that we have to become fruit inspectors. We have to become fruit inspectors. The question is, what is fruit? What are the things that we should look at? Okay, you can think of fruit as 3 C's. Okay, one you've already touched on. Character. Character. Okay, so how do they live their life? Do they live like a Christ follower or do they not? The New Testament says in several places that false teachers try to change God's grace into a permission slip for their sinful living. Second thing is creed. Are they teaching biblical doctrine? False ideas will be taught, important truths will be omitted, new interpretations will be pushed. And then the other C is converts. Their character, their creed, and their converts. Are they making disciples of Christ or disciples of themselves? The followers of false prophets will be like them. Egotistical, proud, self-centered, self-indulgent, self-willed, and self-satisfied while being religious. They will be both self-oriented and group-oriented, but never God-oriented or Scripture-oriented.